Well, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Garage Gaming here, and today we are going to look at the Kriegshmarine's finest, the Leipzig class light cruiser, of which two were built. This one is really interesting because this is the last and only, that's it. No more light cruisers after this for the Deutschland. None. No more Kriegsmarine. M-class were not built. The only thing you can add after this is the Deutschlands and the Hippers. That's it. Done. Nothing else. So, these are an interesting ship. I don't see how this can even come close to a Brooklyn, but apparently there's different guns which people are. There's different ballistic performance on each of the guns. Like the 180mm on the Kirov have higher velocity, and these just they're interesting. So, this is essentially a rationally built Königsberg class. So all of the gun batteries are on the main center line, so you don't have any weird wonkiness when the guns are firing. It just makes more sense, especially with your ammunition rooms and things like that. But yeah, two of these were built. So you've got Leipzig and you've got Nürnburg. Now Nürnberg was built to a different design, and many people think that they should be of two separate classes. Do not be surprised if you see Nürnberg as a premium sometime in the coming years when they decide to do more premium ships or a premium light cruiser. So yeah, 8 to 9,000 ton range. The Germans weren't really restricted by any naval treaties, but regardless, 32 knots, pretty decent range on the ship, about 7,200 Ks or 3,900 nautical miles at 10 knots. So yeah. So Leipzig carries the same armament as Königsberg in the form, main battery armament in the form of 9 15cm guns arranged in one turret forward, two turrets at the rear. It additionally gets two 88mm anti-aircraft guns, a whole bunch of torpedoes, as in 12 50 or 20-inch torpedo tubes. I don't know the arrangement of that. So yeah, it's interesting. And the ship could also carry mines. Belt armor of only 50mm, deck of 30. That is very weak. Whenever someone talks about conning tower armor, ship conning towers aren't really... Look, they're kind of useful for protecting your flag officers and stuff, or your bridge officers when, in battle they're supposed to go to the conning tower. Realistically, what matters is your citadel. Also, when ships have... It depends on the armor scheme. When a ship has an all-or-nothing armor scheme, you're looking at reserve buoyancy, things like that. So, yeah, turrets, 80mm, which is pretty decent. Barbettes, 60mm. These things could carry float planes, which is pretty cool. I don't think... These float planes, they're only going to be, for now, they're just decorations. So, yeah. Which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, everyone else is going... Since I can't handle the dev server, PS4 player, remember, I cannot see anything. I don't want to steal anyone else's footage showing off the ship, because what's the point? So let me instead talk about the history of these ships. So, when we are looking at Leipzig, okay, Leipzig was laid down on the 28th of April 1928, launched in 1929, commissioned in 1931. Okay, now, the interesting thing is both of these ships survived the war, which is very rare for an Axis ship. But regardless, Leipzig was used mainly for training, did non-intervention patrols during the Spanish Civil War, as did most navies, to be quite honest. And during the first couple of years of the war, she was just doing escort duty in the Baltic and North Seas. Leipzig was torpedoed by the British submarine HMS Salmon, which is quite funny considering that light cruisers, one of their jobs is usually to hunt submarines. Very heavily damaged, and took almost a year to completely repair the ship, because, as you know, the Kriegsmarine did not receive the most attention at the time, during the war anyway. So yeah, she provided gunfire support during Operation Barbarossa, and then after that, not much is known. Just in fog, she collided with the heavy cruiser Prince Eugen, which, as you know, Prince Eugen is a heavy cruiser, whereas Leipzig is a light cruiser. Prince Eugen weighs nearly twice as much as Leipzig, so Leipzig, I don't know how to pronounce it. So they had to repair her to keep her afloat, and then she provided gunfire support, in to the defenders of the Gottenhafen against the Soviets in 1945. And then basically Leipzig was used to transport civilians. After the war, she was used as a barracks ship, and then she was scuttled in 1946. So, not really the most illustrious history of a ship, but the interesting thing is this is the pinnacle of the German light cruiser design. So, honestly, I'm interested in seeing how this thing will actually perform in terms of, how will this thing stack up to Brooklyn, considering Brooklyn has a lot more guns than this thing does. Like, they are slightly larger, and it's got more of them. Brooklyn also has much better armor, so with ship armor, at close range, so it's interesting because this ship has a form of turtleback armor, okay? Turtleback armor is only good at, really close range. Turtleback is useless at extended ranges. Brooklyn has a 127mm belt in some sections, okay? So what I'm wondering is, if the ship supposedly has better ballistics, will this thing be able to withstand Brooklyn at longer ranges where turtleback is quite useless? 30mm of deck armor is not going to stand up to a 152mm shell, so I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how it works. So yeah, so that is Light Cruiser Leipzig. So yeah, hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you all next time.